So these are the top 3 things that I learned being a caregiver for my grandmother. And in no particular order, here we go. Mistakes are a part of the game. They are a part of learning. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not trying, you're not doing the things. So when you are making mistakes and you're taking something from it, whether it be a little bit of information as far as what worked and what didn't, then you are learning, you are growing, and thus you are succeeding. So mistakes do not equal failure. Mistakes are a learning portion of the situation that you're in. Everyone is different, and every situation is slightly different. There may be a lot of similarities, there may be a lot of alignment and parallels to different people's paths and different people's journeys. But each caregiving journey, whether you are caring for a grandparent, whether you're caring for a child, there are elements that align, but there are elements that are very, very different. So you have to appreciate that you need to troubleshoot. Sometimes you need to do the things to figure out what works and what doesn't for your situation. Not everything is going to work for everyone. And conversely, just because something did work for you, we want to appreciate that it may not work for the next person. So understanding that trying and making those mistakes and having those lessons being learned is a part of the journey, and it is a wonderful learning experience to grow and to feel empowered for the next time that same situation or something similar comes about. So as long as you're taking from it, as long as you're learning, you should not be judging yourself. You should not be considering yourself a failure for what you have done. Mistakes are a part of the learning process. And you can make mistakes and still be successful as a caregiver. Especially as a caregiver, you're going to have those things that just don't work out. But you have to understand that you are showing up and you are trying things, not knowing if they're going to work. And that in itself is a success. That in itself matters to the person you're caring for. And it matters a whole bunch to the people that couldn't even get to the point of stepping up and stepping into the situation. You showed up. Give yourself that. Making a few mistakes because you're trying something when other people aren't makes you successful, makes you further along, makes you a leader. Take that. Appreciate that. Know that you are powerful and mistakes do not define your success. Number 2, your health matters too. I know that we get so obsessed with doctor's appointments and medications and diet plans and physical therapy and this therapy and that therapy and occupational therapy and all the different things. But the health that matters the most in some situations is your health. Your physical, your mental, your emotional health not only matter, but are vital to being able to take care of the person that you're taking care of. So if you are a parent of a young one and you are not mentally stable, if you are physically declining, you are not going to be able to show up for them the way they need to be shown up for. Same with an older adult. If you are caring for a spouse, if you're caring for a grandparent or parent, if you're caring for a little one, they are all needing you to show up. And if you are allowing your physical, your mental, or your emotional health to decline, or you're just neglecting it in general, even if it's not fully on the decline, but you're just neglecting it, through neglect, you will start to break down and you will not be able to show up as your best self to take care of them in the best way you can. You deserve to not only be at your top, not only do you deserve to show up as your best self and to live your best life and to have the best health you possibly can, they deserve to have you show up that way. They need you to show up that way. Appreciate that if you're sick, if you're physically ill, if you're mentally unstable, if you're emotionally broken, that is going to affect the way you care for them. So putting it second, putting it down the list, not even putting it on the list is detrimental to everything that you're trying to do. You can't save the world if you don't at least start with taking care of yourself. You can't save one person, let alone more than one person, depending on your situation. You might be taking care of a few people. And we've all heard the old adage of the airline mask coming over your mouth. And, we've all heard about the oxygen mask in the airplanes coming down. And it literally has an instructional card saying to put your own mask on first before helping or assisting others, whether that be children, whether that be other adults. It's not saying, depending on your level of how much you care for them, decide whether you're more important than them. It's not about importance. It's about your actual ability to take care of them is dependent on if you're okay, if you're taking care of yourself. If you allow yourself to suffocate, then you both die. If you make sure that you take that first breath, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, your health matters. And if your health is suffering, you can guarantee that it is going to affect them and influence their health. Take care of yourself. Your health is very important. And number 3, tomorrow is another day. Now, we don't necessarily want to think of that as in putting things off till tomorrow, but we have to appreciate that we're going to make the best out of today as much as we can. We're going to give it our all. We're going to have a list of things that most likely we may not be able to get through, because the unexpected is the expected when you're caring for another, whether it be a child or an adult. Things often don't go according to plan, and you have to pivot. You have to stay flexible. I always like the quote of, don't be like the oak tree, be like bamboo, because the more rigid you are, the more likely you're gonna crack. Be fluid, flow with the bamboo, go with the situation, with the circumstances, and you'll find your strength in your flexibility. So appreciating that we're not going to get through everything on the list. I often start my day with not just high hopes, but great intentions of, I'm gonna nail these 3 things, these 5 things, these 10 things. I oftentimes try to focus on only 3, but my list always creeps into the 5, 6, 7 different thing range, with the understanding that I need to prioritize those top 3, and then everything else is extra. If I can get to it, fantastic, but most likely it's more of a putting it down so that I don't forget about it. And maybe that, if I get through the top 3 this day, then those next 3 will be tomorrow's top 3. But the main thing is that tomorrow is another day. You get another chance. The sun will come up, probably, depending on the weather. But dawn will break. You will put your feet on the floor. Hopefully you can say, you know what, it's going to be a great day. And you can start your day strong and with intention. And even if things don't go according to plan, or you don't get to anything on your list, know that if you put in, if you put in the effort and you gave it your best, you can still count that day as a win. You are still successful if you went for it, if you showed up, even if nothing got done, even if everything fell apart, even if your list somehow got longer by the end of the day. It's the fact that you show up. And I think the first 3 things that I do in the morning is that I appreciate that I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I'm grateful that my loved one is still alive, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to try to make today better than yesterday. And with the attitude of making today better than yesterday and knowing that tomorrow is here, I take away the anxiety and the depression, because I'm not living in yesterday. I'm not depressed and upset about what I didn't get to yesterday. I'm not anxious about what I need to do tomorrow or further down the line. I'm going to focus on today, and knowing that if I don't get to it today, I'll get to it tomorrow. And whether that's true or not, I can't tell, because it's the future and nobody knows the future. Focus on the moment, focus on the day, focus on what you can do, give it your all, make today count, but appreciate that you have tomorrow, and tomorrow is another day. Top 3 things. Took me years to figure out. And remember, mistakes are going to happen. Your health really matters, and tomorrow is another day. I'll see you later.